You know that feeling when someone walks into your space and immediately changes the entire atmosphere? Not in a good way. In that electric, hair-raising way that makes every employee suddenly find something extremely important to do in the back kitchen. That's exactly what happened on a Tuesday afternoon that I'll never forget. My name is Marcus Chen, and I own the Crimson Table, a farm-to-table restaurant in downtown Portland that I built from absolutely nothing. 15 years ago, I was washing dishes in my uncle's restaurant, dreaming about creating something of my own. I saved every penny, worked 3 jobs, attended culinary school at night, and poured my entire soul into this place. The exposed brick walls, the custom-made tables from reclaimed barn wood, the carefully curated wine list, every single detail represents a piece of my heart. It was 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, that awkward time between lunch and dinner when we usually have maybe 5 or 6 tables. I was in my office upstairs reviewing supplier invoices when I heard it. That voice. You know the one. It cuts through ambient noise like a knife through warm butter, demanding attention, dripping with manufactured authority. Excuse me? Excuse me? Is anyone actually working here? I glanced at the security monitor I'd installed last year. There she was. A woman in her mid-50s, designer handbag prominently displayed, oversized sunglasses pushed up into her perfectly highlighted hair, standing at the host stand with the posture of someone who'd never been told no in her entire life. My host, 22-year-old Jasmine, was approaching with her usual warm smile. "Good afternoon. Welcome to the Crimson Table. Do you have a reservation?" The woman, let's call her Patricia, waved her hand dismissively. "I don't need a reservation. I know the owner. Marcus and I go way back." I leaned closer to the monitor. I'd never seen this woman before in my life. Jasmine, bless her heart, maintained her professionalism. "Wonderful." "The corner booth," Patricia interrupted, pointing to our best table, the one we usually reserve for proposals and anniversaries. "That's where I always sit. Marcus saves it for me." I watched Jasmine's face. She glanced at the reservation book. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but that table is reserved for 5 p.m. I have a beautiful table by the window." "Did you not hear me?" Patricia's voice rose. "I know the owner. That's my table. I've been coming here for years." Now here's the thing, I know every regular customer. I make it my business to know them. I remember their favorite dishes, their anniversaries, whether they prefer still or sparkling water. This woman? Complete stranger. But I didn't go downstairs yet. Not yet. Because I've learned something important in 15 years of running a restaurant. Sometimes you learn more by watching than by intervening. Jasmine, uncomfortable but still professional, seated Patricia at a lovely foretop near the window with a perfect view of the downtown skyline. Patricia sat down with an exaggerated sigh as if she'd been gravely inconvenienced, and immediately pulled out her phone. My server, Miguel, one of my best, been with me for 7 years, approached with water and menus. "Good afternoon. Can I start you off with something to drink?" Patricia didn't even look up from her phone. "Champagne, the good stuff. Marcus knows what I like." "Let me get you seated." "Right?" The Miguel, confused, glanced toward the host stand. Jasmine subtly shook her head. No, the owner hadn't mentioned anything about this guest. "Of course," Miguel said smoothly. "We have several excellent options. Our house champagne is a lovely Prosecco, or we have—" "The Dom Perignon," Patricia said, still not looking up. Her fingers tapped aggressively on her phone screen. "And bring the tasting menu. All of it. Marcus always comps my meals anyway, so don't even bring me a check." I nearly fell out of my chair. Miguel, to his absolute credit, didn't miss a beat. "I'll need to confirm that with management. One moment, please." Are you serious right now?" Patricia finally looked up, and I could see her face reddening even through the security camera. "Do you know who I am? I could get you fired with one phone call. Marcus is one of my closest friends. We went to culinary school together." Interesting claim, considering I went to culinary school in Seattle, and I distinctly remember every single person in my graduating class. Miguel excused himself and walked directly to the host stand where he and Jasmine had a whispered conversation. I watched them both glance nervously toward my office. They were good employees, loyal and honest, but they were young. They were second-guessing themselves, wondering if maybe, somehow, they'd missed something. Maybe this woman really did know me. Maybe she was someone important. That's when I saw Patricia pull out her phone and start recording a video. "So, I'm here at the Crimson Table," she said into her camera, voice dripping with false sweetness. "A restaurant I've been supporting for years, and the staff is treating me like I'm nobody. Absolutely ridiculous. Marcus is going to hear about this. These people are about to lose their jobs. She panned the camera around the restaurant, catching Miguel and Jasmine in the frame, catching other diners who suddenly looked very uncomfortable. That's when I stood up. That's when I straightened my chef's coat, checked my reflection to make sure I looked professional, and headed downstairs. Because this wasn't just about a free meal anymore. This woman was threatening my employees, my family, and creating a hostile environment for my other guests. I had no idea that this encounter would turn into something much, much bigger. Something that would test everything I'd built, everything I believed in, and ultimately reveal just how far some people will go when their lies are exposed. As I descended the stairs, I caught Miguel's eye. He looked relieved. Jasmine looked nervous. Patricia looked triumphant. None of them knew what was about to happen. Neither did I. I walked across my restaurant floor with measured steps, taking in every detail. The elderly couple at table 7 who'd been coming every Friday for 9 years. The young professional at the bar doing work on her laptop, her second cappuccino half finished. The soft jazz playing through the speakers, the afternoon light filtering through the windows. This was my sanctuary, and someone was disrupting it. Patricia had her phone out, still recording, her voice carrying across the entire dining room. And now we wait to see if I even get service. This is the problem with restaurants these days. They forget who keeps them in business. Loyal customers like me who... "Excuse me," I said, my voice calm and professional as I approached her table. "I'm Marcus Chen. I understand there's been some confusion." The change in Patricia's expression was instantaneous. The entitled anger melted into a broad, completely artificial smile. She practically lunged out of her seat, arms extended as if we were old friends reuniting after years apart. "Marcus!" she exclaimed, loud enough that every person in the restaurant turned to look. "Oh my God, it's been so long. How have you been? I was just telling your staff that we're old friends." She moved in for a hug. I stepped back, maintaining professional distance, my hands clasped in front of me. "I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met. You are?" The smile flickered. Just for a second, I saw something dangerous flash across her face. Then the mask was back. "Oh, Marcus, stop joking around. It's me, Patricia. We met at the restaurant industry conference in San Francisco 2 years ago. You said I should come by any time." I've never been to a restaurant industry conference in San Francisco. I've never been to a conference in San Francisco at all. "I'm afraid there's been a mistake," I said, keeping my voice level and kind. "I've never attended any conferences in San Francisco. Perhaps you're thinking of a different restaurant owner?" No, it was definitely you," Patricia insisted, her voice getting sharper. "We talked for like an hour about sustainable farming practices. You were wearing a blue shirt. You told me about this place, said I should visit, said you'd take care of me personally. She was good, I'll give her that. Specific details, confident delivery. But I was wearing a blue shirt right now, which she could see. And sustainable farming practices, that's literally on our menu and website. She'd done her homework, but not well enough." "Ma'am," I said gently, "I'm certain we've never met, but you're welcome to dine with us today. However, I need to clarify that we don't comp meals without prior arrangement, and all our champagne selections are available for purchase." "Are you calling me a liar?" The temperature in the room dropped. Every conversation stopped. Even the jazz seemed to get quieter. Patricia stood up, her face now genuinely red, her phone still recording. "I have been coming to this restaurant for years. Years. I have spent thousands of dollars here. I've brought clients, I've brought friends, I've posted about you on social media, and this is how you treat me? Ma'am, our records show this is your first visit." "Your records are wrong!" she was shouting now. Miguel had materialized at my elbow, ready to intervene if needed. Jasmine was on the phone, probably calling our general manager David, who was due in for the evening shift. "I want my usual meal," Patricia demanded. "The sea bass with the truffle risotto, the heirloom tomato salad, the Dom Perignon, and your chocolate soufflé, and I want it comped. Now. Or I'm posting this video everywhere, and I'm calling the health department, and I'm making sure everyone knows how you treat your loyal customers." Here's what ran through my mind in that moment. I could just give her the meal. It would cost me maybe $200, and she'd leave, and everything would go back to normal. It would be easier, simpler. But I thought about Miguel, who'd worked doubles to save money for his daughter's quinceañera. I thought about Jasmine, who was putting herself through college one shift at a time. I thought about every small business owner who'd ever been bullied by someone who thought their entitlement trumped common decency. "No," I said simply. Patricia's eyes widened. "What did you just say to me?" I said no. You're welcome to order from our menu and pay for your meal like every other guest. Or you're welcome to leave. But I won't be extorted in my own restaurant. Extorted? You're calling me an extortionist now? She thrust her phone closer to my face. This is all being recorded, you realize that? Do you have any idea who I am? Honestly, no, I don't. That's when things got really interesting. Patricia's entire demeanor changed. The fake friendliness, the manufactured outrage, it all dropped away, revealing something cold and calculating underneath. She lowered her phone and spoke in a voice that was almost conversational. You're making a huge mistake, she said quietly. I have 50,000 followers on Instagram. I review restaurants. I can destroy this place with one post. I've done it before. My heart was pounding, but I kept my expression neutral. Are you threatening me? I'm offering you a choice. Give me what I asked for, what you clearly owe me as someone who supported your business, or watch what happens when I tell my followers about the owner who called his loyal customer a liar and threw her out. The elderly couple at table 7 was watching intently. The young professional at the bar had her hand over her mouth. Miguel's jaw was clenched. Here's my choice, I said. You can leave voluntarily, or I can call the police and have you removed for trespassing and attempted extortion. You have 60 seconds to decide. Patricia smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. You just made the biggest mistake of your life, she said. She grabbed her designer bag, made a hug hard enough that our hand-painted welcome sign rattled against the glass. The restaurant was dead silent. Then the elderly man at table 7 started clapping, slowly at first, then faster. His wife joined in, then the young professional, then Miguel and Jasmine. Within seconds, the entire restaurant was applauding. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I felt a cold sense of dread, because I saw Patricia's face as she left, and I knew this wasn't over, not even close. Show of storming out and slammed the door. 23 minutes. That's how long it took for my phone to start exploding. I was back in my office documenting the entire incident, time, details, witnesses, when the notifications started rolling in. Instagram, Facebook, Yelp, Google reviews, Twitter. It was like watching a digital avalanche in real time. Worst restaurant in Portland. Owner is abusive and hateful. Do not eat here. They discriminate against loyal customers. The owner, Marcus Chen, personally attacked me and called me a liar for no reason. 1 star. 1 star. 1 star. 1 star. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through them. Patricia hadn't just posted a review. She'd posted the video she'd taken, carefully edited to remove all context. It started with me saying, "I'm certain we've never met," and her responding, "Are you calling me a liar?" Then it cut to me saying no when she asked for her meal, making it seem like I'd refused to serve her at all. Then it ended with me saying, "You can leave voluntarily, or I can call the police." The caption read, "I've been a loyal customer at the Crimson Table for over 5 years. Today, the owner, Marcus Chen, personally discriminated against me, refused me service, called me a liar in front of everyone, and threatened to have me arrested for asking for the customer service I deserved. This is how small businesses treat the people who keep them alive. Share this. People need to know." It had already been shared 400 times. The comments were vicious. "Disgusting. I'll never eat here. Small business owners think they can treat people however they want. Someone needs to shut this place down. I'm calling the health department right now." My general manager, David, burst into the office, his face pale. "Marcus, have you seen—" "Yeah," I said, my voice hollow. "I've seen it." David ran his hand through his hair. "We're getting phone calls. Angry phone calls. Someone called and said they're organizing a protest outside tomorrow. Someone else said they're going to contact the local news. Marcus, this is bad. This is really bad." I stared at the screen, watching the numbers climb. 500 shares, 600. The video had been up for less than half an hour, and it was going viral in the Portland food community. Then I noticed something. In the comments, someone had posted, "This is the same woman who tried this at Bellinade last month. She claimed she knew the owner there too." I clicked on the profile. A restaurant owner named Antonio DeMarco. I knew him. We'd served on a local restaurant association board together 3 years ago. I called him immediately. "Marcus!" Antonio's thick Italian accent came through the phone. I was just about to call you. I saw the video. That woman, she tried the same thing at my restaurant 5 weeks ago. My heart started beating faster. Tell me everything. She came in, claimed she was my wife's friend from book club, demanded free food and wine, said she'd leave a bad review if we didn't comply. We asked her to leave. 2 days later, we had 100 one-star reviews and someone threw a brick through our window with a note calling me a thief. Did you report it to the police? Yes, but by then she'd deleted all her social media posts. No evidence. The detective said unless we had video of her throwing the brick, there was nothing they could do. I felt sick. How many restaurants has she done this to? I heard rumors about at least 3 others. The Sapphire Room downtown, Harvest Kitchen in the Pearl District, and that new sushi place on Hawthorne. She has a whole system. She researches the owner, learns enough to sound credible, makes her demands, and if you refuse, she destroys you online with edited videos and fake reviews. That's extortion. Yes, but it's hard to prove, and by the time you prove it, the damage is done. Marcella and I lost 30% of our business for 2 months. We almost closed. After I hung up with Antonio, I sat in my office for a long moment, just breathing. Then I made a decision. I pulled up my restaurant's Instagram account. We had about 12,000 followers, mostly local food lovers, regular customers, and people who appreciated our commitment to sustainable dining. I hit the video button and started recording. Hi everyone, Marcus Chen here, owner of the Crimson Table. By now, many of you have probably seen a video circulating about an incident at my restaurant today. I want to address it directly. My hand was steady now, my voice was calm. A woman came into my restaurant this afternoon claiming to be a long-time customer and personal friend. She demanded free expensive meals and champagne, insisting I always comped her. The truth is, I had never met her before in my life. When I politely explained this and offered her the opportunity to order and pay like any other guest, she became aggressive, threatened my staff, and said she would destroy my business if I didn't give her what she wanted. I paused, choosing my words carefully. I refused. Not because I don't value my customers, I do, deeply, but because I won't be extorted, and I won't allow my employees to be threatened. After speaking with other restaurant owners, I've learned this person has done this to multiple establishments in Portland using edited videos and fake reviews to damage businesses that don't comply with her demands. I held up my phone showing the documentation I'd been compiling. I have full security footage of the entire incident, unedited. I have witnesses. I have police reports from other restaurants. I'm sharing this because small business owners need to stop being silent when people try to exploit us. We work too hard, we sacrifice too much, and we care too deeply about our communities to let this continue. I looked directly into the camera. To my real customers, the ones who've supported the Crimson Table for 15 years, thank you. You know who you are. You're the reason I do this. And to anyone else considering similar tactics, it won't work here. And then I waited for the storm to get worse. But something unexpected happened instead. The first text came from my uncle at 6:47 p.m. Marcus, I just shared your video. I'm proud of you. This needed to be said. Then my phone rang. It was Rebecca Torres, a food journalist from Portland Monthly. Marcus, I want to do a story. I've been tracking this woman for 3 months. She's hit at least 7 restaurants. You're the first owner to go public. By 8 p.m., my video had been shared more than the original. By 10 p.m., it had 20,000 views. By midnight, it was on the local news. But the real turning point came the next morning at 9:47 a.m. A woman walked into the Crimson Table. She was in her early 40s, professionally dressed, carrying a leather portfolio. Jasmine was at the host stand and immediately tensed. We'd all been on edge since yesterday. I'm looking for Marcus Chen, the woman said. Her voice was kind, tired. My name is Dr. Jennifer Harrison. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I need to talk to him about Patricia Whitmore. I came downstairs immediately. We sat at the same table where Patricia had sat yesterday, and Dr. Harrison opened her portfolio with shaking hands. Patricia is my former patient, she said quietly. I can't share details due to confidentiality, but when I saw your video last night, I felt ethically obligated to come forward with what I can legally tell you. She pulled out a newspaper article from 2 years ago. Patricia Whitmore was a successful real estate agent. She had a husband, 2 adult children, a beautiful home in West Lynn. Then her husband left her for a younger woman. Her company downsized and let her go, and her children sided with their father in the divorce. Dr. Harrison's eyes were sad. She spiraled. She lost her house, her savings, her identity. Everything that made her feel important and valued was gone. And then she discovered something. When she walked into expensive restaurants and pretended to be someone important, demanded special treatment, people sometimes gave it to her. For a few moments, she felt powerful again. "But we didn't give it to her," I said. "No." And that's when she escalates. The fake reviews, the edited videos, the threats, it's not really about free food, it's about control. It's about reclaiming the power she feels she lost. She's done this to restaurants, hotels, boutiques. I've been working with other business owners she's targeted, trying to build a case for intervention. She handed me a business card. "There's a detective, Sarah Chen, no relation to you, I assume, who's been investigating. Your video gave them what they needed. Patricia violated a restraining order from another restaurant owner by posting that video yesterday. They're bringing her in for questioning this morning." I felt a strange mix of emotions: anger at what she'd done, pity for what she'd lost, relief that it might be over. "What happens to her now?" I asked. I posted it. "That depends. If she gets the help she needs, maybe she can rebuild. If not..." Dr. Harrison trailed off. "Some people get so lost in their pain that they become the villain in everyone else's story, including their own." After she left, I sat at that table for a long time. Miguel brought me coffee without asking. Jasmine squeezed my shoulder as she walked past. My phone buzzed. It was an email from the Portland Restaurant Association. "Dear Marcus, we wanted to commend you for your courage in speaking out. Following your video, 11 other restaurant owners have come forward with similar experiences. We're organizing a task force to address this kind of exploitation in the hospitality industry. Would you be willing to serve as co-chair?" Another message, this time from Instagram DM. "Mr. Chen, my name is Thomas Whitmore. I'm Patricia's son. I saw your video and Dr. Harrison's statement to the news. I'm so sorry for what my mother did. She's not well, and we've been trying to get her help for months. Thank you for not pressing charges. We're working with her doctors now. I hope you can forgive her someday." I thought about that for a long time, about pain and choices, about how hurt people, about the difference between understanding and excusing. That evening, we had our busiest night in 6 months. The controversy had brought attention, but people weren't coming because of the drama. They were coming because they read about a small business owner who stood up for what was right, who protected his employees, who refused to be bullied. At 9:30 p.m., I stood in my kitchen watching my team work. Miguel was plating a perfect sea bass with truffle risotto, the same dish Patricia had demanded. Jasmine was seating a couple at the corner booth, the one Patricia had claimed was hers. Our sous chef, Maria, was training a new hire, passing down knowledge the way my uncle had passed it to me 15 years ago. This was why I'd built this place. Not for the money or the recognition or even the food, though I loved all of that. I'd built it because restaurants are about more than meals. They're about creating spaces where people feel valued, where employees can build careers, where communities gather and connect. My phone buzzed one more time. A text from Antonio DeMarco. "Marcus, I just got a call from the health department. Someone reported Bellinate for violations. All false, all dismissed. But the inspector said something interesting. He said, 'We're seeing a trend of fake complaints in this area. Good thing you restaurant owners are finally talking to each other. You started something good, Amico. You gave us our voices back.'" I looked around my restaurant, my 15-year dream, my second home, my legacy. It was full of life and laughter and the smell of good food and the sound of genuine conversations. Patricia had tried to take this from me with lies and manipulation. Instead, she'd accidentally reminded me why it was worth fighting for. I grabbed my chef's coat and headed back into the kitchen. We had a full dining room, and those dessert soufflés weren't going to make themselves. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, the Crimson Table was exactly what it was always meant to be, a place where everyone was truly welcome, as long as they treated others with dignity and respect. And that, I thought as I cracked eggs for the chocolate soufflé, was worth defending.